Well, good morning, Wareham. It is the last day in July, that is July 31st, and we have a great show here for you, the news headlines, the weather report, and live guests. Not today in history today. This morning, the story that touched our hearts, a theft that ended up galvanizing our police department to take action. We are having Nicha Tansakul and Tim Pickett in the studio this morning to retell their story. And not everything belongs in the trash bin. That is Marilyn and Earl Russell in the studio to talk about everything recycling. Also, our own Noah Wombelt will be sharing his knowledge to cellulites. And also a trip to Scott Record's house to learn about his way of making classic clam chowder. So with that, but first, I would like to take a moment to thank Not Your Average Antiques and Antique Shop down Cranberry Highway in East Wareham for donating the props that you see in the morning show. So stay tuned because the weather and the news headlines are next. Another gorgeous day today. Plenty of sunshine, a stray of shower or thunderstorm is a possibility. High around 85 degrees today. Partly cloudy skies at night with scattered thunderstorms developing later at night with low near 70. Tomorrow, partly to mostly cloudy skies with scattered thunderstorms mainly in the morning. High at 81 and low at 65. And that's for the weather. The news headlines are next. Well, Weekend Local Wareham had the following stories. That is, a community mapped about 48 years ago has now captured the attention of the town. Woodsea Lilton Drive is being scouted by the planning director Ken Buckland for a potential affordable housing project. According to the Housing Authority numbers, 2018 numbers revealed that there are about 850 people on the list, including handicaps, veterans, and elderly. Buckland stated that there are certain restrictions to the land, one being pond at one edge of the property and wetlands surrounding the area. However, Housing Authority Chairman Peter Teitelbaum thinks that the land will be attractive to a number of developers and prospective renters or homeowners. And also, we're moving on to our second news of the day, and that is the onset Wigwam Midsummer Festival and Psychic Vendor Fair will be held August 3rd, 4th, and August 3rd, 4th at the Wigwam 9 Sacred Place from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on both days. There is an admission fee, $2 admission fee, and $20 for 20-minute reading at the fair. And also, Wareham Week had the following. That is, advanced cancer screening technique has now arrived at South Coast Health. The cutting edge lung screening program was launched in March 2016. The program is being designed to identify lung cancer in the early stages of the disease before patients have any outward signs, but still while the cancer can be beaten. This is when medical intervention such as surgery can make the most difference. For more information, if you are at risk, please visit the American Cancer Society online. And that's for today's news. Stay with us. We'll be back with more. And when we talk about toys special for children with autism, what do we mean by it? How are they different?
So they're sensory-based toys. So they can, like the jewelry, they can chew on it.
Okay.
And it's made for that. Or the lap pads, they're weighted, and the animals, they're weighted. And children with sensory, some of them, the weight calms them. Some of them need compression. Some of them need weight. Some of them need something cold. So it's a matter on finding what works for what kid.
Now, you're not only a businesswoman, but you also, as I said, a mother with 2 children with autism. I mean, tell me how effective these toys are. How diverse are they?
They really are great. I don't think getting through meltdowns and things like that would be possible without these toys. It would definitely be more overwhelming for parents without them. Like my son, when he has a meltdown, we have some Muddy Cove healers over there, and I put mine in the freezer. And when you put those on him, he calms down. And if that doesn't work, then he goes in his chair, swing in his room, and we swing him. And then he starts laughing, he forgets, he refocuses, and...
So tell me about piercing it together. Where does that name come from?
Well, a puzzle piece.
Okay.
Everybody creates a puzzle piece with, thinks a puzzle piece with autism, and it pretty much is that. You're piecing your life together in different little pieces. You're always here, there, and everywhere as a parent, so piecing it together.
And what should people understand about autism and parents with children with autism?
Just because you know one child with autism doesn't mean you know autism. Every child is different. And if you see someone having a meltdown, don't judge them, because that's the biggest thing that parents get is judged. Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And every child's different, so.
All right, so welcome back. So now for the story, a bike theft story that galvanized our police department to take action, and not the action that you're thinking about. This morning, I have Nietzsche Tansakul and Tim Pickett in the studio to tell their story. Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome.
You guys were a bunch of chit-chatters. Tim, now you're like...
I'm here, and I'm just so happy that the story ended the way that it did.
Absolutely. So before we talk further about the story, I would like for you guys to reintroduce yourselves further and how you guys met. So I'm going to start with you, Nietzsche. Tell us about yourself.
Okay, so my name is Nietzsche Daskun, and everybody calls me Ziki.
Okay.
I'm from Thailand, and I'm just graduated from college in Thailand, and I'm a law student.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So what are you doing in Wareham?
So now I'm participate in the exchange students, which called work and travel program for the summer.
All right.
Yep. So I'm gonna work like 4 months, and then I will take 1 month for traveling around the United States.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why did you pick Dunkin' Donuts? Was it just any random work? Did you say, yes, I want to learn how to make coffee? What happened?
It's very fun. It's very interesting to learn how to work with many people.
All right.
Yeah, and it's very fun actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Very good experience for me.
Very good experience for you?
Yeah.
All right. I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it. Tim, tell me about you. I know you are the owner of We Meet by Accident.
Yep, I fix cell phones and electronics down in Buzzards Bay, 123 Main Street. My shameless plug. But yeah, that's what I do. And through a mutual friend, I did meet Ziggy, and I heard that she was looking for more jobs. And
more jobs?
Yeah. So she lives towards Onset, and I know that she was walking, and I happened to have an extra bike, and I was more than happy to let her have it to use for, for transportation.
Yeah.
Sometimes, because, when you get to work and you got to go from one job to the other, walking or finding a ride isn't always feasible, so it's good to be independent.
Yes.
And I knew that I could give her that independence by giving her the bike.
Oh, very nice of you, Tim. So you gave her the bike out of your kindness of your heart.
Yeah.
All right, and you're expecting that bike to come back to you.
I didn't care if the bike came back to me. I just wanted the bike to get use because I wasn't using it.
Okay, so nature took that bike and you're using that bike, right?
Yes.
Tell me how important this bike was to you.
Because the Dunkin' Donuts is my second job. So I have to walk like 30 to 40 minutes.
Where's your other job?
Lobster Pot
Okay.
on Cranberry Highway.
All right.
Yep. And actually, at first, I have to walk like 30 minutes to get to the work and stuff. And I met this kindest man in the world. So he just let me borrow his bike.
Yeah.
And it's helped me a lot
Okay.
because I can sleep more, maybe 30 minutes, you know what I mean?
Because you have that fast bike.
Yeah.
So you took this bike to your job at Cranberry Highway, the Dunkin' Donuts there.
Yes, every day.
Every day you
It's very
walked it outside.
important to me, yes. I was locked it outside and I tried to hide it. And
what happened? So you came out of your shift, then you discovered...
And I found out like, what happened to my bike? I cannot find it.
Yeah.
Yes, and that just happened. And I was crazy and I was crying so hard. I ran to the manager and said, help me please.
Yeah.
I was shaking and shocked and I can't imagine that happened to me because people in Wareham is very, very nice to me. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that happened to me.
Well, that was another experience. Do you have theft in Thailand?
Yes, of course.
Because I read that's one of the places where there is no theft at all.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so this was not necessarily a culture shock because you've experienced it
Very
before.
shocked. Very shocked.
So did you call Tim right away?
That time I was really afraid that he's gonna disappointed because I promised him that I will take care of it. I will give it back to you. Very perfect.
Yes.
But I cannot give it to you.
She called me crying and she said that she said, you're not going to believe this, but somebody stole my bike. And I knew when she was crying, I knew it was something about the bike. Because when she called me crying, I was like, okay, what happened?
Oh, you made her tell it to you? You knew it.
No, I didn't. You know, like that instinct.
Yes.
And I said, is everything okay? She was crying. She goes, I have to tell you something. I'm so sorry. I'm like, what's the matter? She goes, someone stole my bike. I'm like, oh. And all I was thinking to myself was, how can I get her another bike?
Oh, damn.
You know, like, because I know how important it was to her.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking in my shed, I got a couple more. I'm like, I'm ready to go down there with another one, you know? And
Look how nice he is.
and before I knew it, I had found out about what the Wareham police had done.
So okay, so the Wareham, who reported the crime, the theft?
So, my manager called to the police, and Jamie White, he come to the store and he tried to take care of me. He promised that, okay, Ziki, calm down because I was crying so hard.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's okay, I will give a ride you home and I will send the picture to everyone.
Yes, about the bike.
Yeah, he's working on it. He was working on it, and I really appreciate it because he tried to make me feel comfortable, and that's the first time that I sit on the police car.
Okay.
I was in the
Not
police
being
car.
arrested. Okay.
Yeah.
She was in the front, not the back.
Yeah, both. I was in the front and the back too, and it's very good experience actually. Yeah,
Very good.
Excited because everything was new for me, and he was very nice. He's very nice to me.
Yeah.
Everyone.
So how long did it take until you got the new bike?
Maybe just 3 or 4 hours after that.
That same day?
Same day.
So tell me what happened. I need to know the details. The article didn't have a lot of details.
So he gave a ride me to home, and then I was crying, and he said, wait for me. Maybe a couple hours, I will be back.
Okay.
And I said, please help me, please.
Yeah.
And White said, okay, we'll find out. And then after that, maybe 2 hours, he come back again, knocked my door, and said, Ziggy, I think I saw the bike that looked familiar. He tried to surprise me.
Okay.
So he said like, maybe you have to go to look at. Maybe it's yours, maybe. I was excited and I was like, okay, please. Okay, I will be back in an hour. I will be back. Okay, and then an hours later, he picked me up and drive me to the Dunkin' Donuts and he surprised me. And he said, is that your bike? And I said, I was going to cry again because it's not my bike. And I was, no, it's not my bike. And he said, oh, come on, Ziggy, we buy this for you.
Oh.
And the lock too, with the lock.
So were you there?
I was not there. I didn't know any of this.
Yeah.
Somebody had sent me some messages and said, oh, did you see what happened today with Ziggy? I said, no, what happened? It's like someone bought her a bike. I'm like, who? And they're like, the police. And I said, wow, really? And they sent me the pictures of like everyone at Dunkin' Donuts and like all the staff out there and the clapping for her. And I could tell that the people that she worked with really love her.
Oh my goodness.
So it was the community got together and did a really nice deed for her.
They try to like communicate and said how can we help how can we help her and stuff, and they decided to buy me a new bike. That melts my heart, really. It's very amazing experiences that I never have because I couldn't imagine that happened to me, you know. I read a lot of stuff about the police officer in America that's very nice and try to take care of everyone in the area. And I'm a foreigner.
Yeah.
I'm exchange students. I just be here for like 4 months, but they said the first word that they said to me is, I will take care of you. That's really good, really good. Like he said he will take care of me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's really.
You know, I think it's very refreshing for both of us, right, Tim, to hear about our community through her eyes. You know how the kindness of people that you met, our police department. It's so often for us to get mixed up in so much that's going on, the bad or good, that we forget who these people are in the department.
We all know that the bad stories always sell way more. They get more shares. Everyone wants to hear something, a catastrophe, more than something great. But it really does keep us talking about a catastrophe for days when so many great things are happening right in front of us. And for some reason, we're not concentrating on those.
Yes.
And I think that stories like this are way more uplifting and show how strong we really are and how divided we are.
So, to my knowledge, I don't think they have found the people who have stolen your bike.
Yeah.
But now you have a new bike. So, how vigilant are you with this new bike? Keeping your eyes on it constantly?
I always locked it. Always locked it.
Okay.
And
did you lock it last time, or you just?
Yes.
Okay, you did.
Yes, I did, and I tried to hide it, but it still
Things happen.
Yeah, it's happened.
So did you call home? Did you tell your parents, your friends?
Yes, I told my parents, and my parents were like, "Oh, poor Ziggy," because a lot of things happened to me, but the best thing that happened is now I know how nice, how kind people in Wareham.
So if you are to come back to the United States for a visit, for work, for school, whatever, will you choose to be back in Wareham?
Of course, yes.
Yes?
Definitely, yes. Because people really nice to me.
Yeah.
Especially you.
So, Tim, I'm sure you've learned a lot. So tell me just how you summarize this.
One bad person will be met with 30 great people to make things right. In almost every instance.
Almost every instant. I love that.
Yeah.
It's a very beautiful story.
Yeah,
right?
it is. It is a gorgeous story. When I read about it, Nadia, who works for Wareham Week, covered your story as well, in addition to another reporter, Wicked Local. and she was so excited, and which made me even more anxious to meet you and actually to hear this story in full, because it's a beautiful story. And I'm glad you had a great opportunity in Wareham.
Yes, very good opportunity. And I was like crying, but not because I'm sad, because not it's not because I lost my bike, but because I was very, very happy to be here.
Tears of joy.
Yeah, to be here too.
All right.
To be here with you guys, very nice.
How long do you have? I know you said it for just for the summer.
Yes.
So how long do you have here in the United States?
So I will be here till September 5th
Okay.
for here, and then I will go to travel
Okay.
around the United
where
States.
You planning to go?
New York, California, and West Coast.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Very nice. Well, thank you to both of you for making it here and for sharing this beautiful story with us. Team, thank you.
Oh, thank
Your
you.
kindness is,
Very, very
I thought you'd be
kind.
upset too. And now
Never.
you're fetching for another bite.
I would never be upset.
No.
It's
Very diplomatic.
when you worry about what happened instead of how we're going to fix it, we're staying in the past.
Okay.
Something happened. Okay, it happened. Now what next?
All right.
You know, I'm not looking for the person who stole the bike, because everything's already kind of made right. And if they don't feel bad, then nothing I do or anyone else is going to do is going to make them feel bad.
He tried to make me feel better, really, that time. He said, it's okay, it's okay, it happened.
And it is. It turned out okay. Well, team, I hope you lend me something of yours.
Anytime.
You're the best person to borrow it from.
All you have to do is ask. The worst I can say is no, Queen. The worst I can say is no.
Well, with me was Nietzsche Tansaku, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and Tim Pickett, who is the manager, the CEO, the founder,
No, come on,
the
come on.
everything of We Meet by Accident, and that is he fixes technology, cell phones, computers.
You can find us at Computer Consulting Networks at 123 Main Street, Buzzards Bay.
Absolutely, he will be there to take care of you, and as he said, we'll fix it. It's going to be okay. So we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with more. Thank you, guys. week I visited Scott Record's home in Wareham to learn about his way of making classic clam chowder. You too can make it at your home. All you have to do is pay attention.
You'll get to see it, we'll get to taste it, then you'll get to make it.
I'll take you far away, far away, far away.
Hi, this is Scott Record. We're here on beautiful Buzzards Bay. Real capey day. I'm here to show you how to make classic clam chowder from start to finish. By start, I mean I'm gonna dig the clams. This is my clam rake. I've come out here at low tide. The way you find them, you know, the clams around here are called quahogs, which is an old Wampanoag Indian term, quahogs, but they're sea clams. The big ones are called bulls, the little ones that you eat raw, cherry stones. So I'm gonna feel around with my foot while I'm talking to you. I'm looking for what feels like cobblestones. I'll feel a little bump, there's a bump, and there's a couple of bumps. So then I take this rake, go in, rake it in the sand and lift it up. Let me find that bump again. There we go, hold on. Success. Success. All right. If you can look and see in there, I just got 5. That's a nice haul. And I always bring my trusty life preserver in my old bucket. That's a bushel, and that's what's allowed. I have my clam license in my pocket. We do everything legal. This is a bull. This is probably half a pound of meat in there. That's a bull one. Another bull. Come over here. There's nothing fresher than this. Look at these dudes. These are 2 kind of big cherry stones. In fact, I'll show you how cool this is. In my pocket, always carry your shucking knife, because I'm an old shucker, and I've been shucking for years. So what you do is you come in the side with the shucking knife. Boy, these guys, woo! He's tough. You find another one. When they're right out of the water, they're so tough to get into. But I'm gonna get this guy. I'm in. Come around like this. Bring the shucking knife around. He's open. There's a couple of muscles you have to cut on the side. And then, voila. That's the baby. So you take the knife, go around the outside, cut this film off. It's all part of it. It's all edible. Comes in like this. I now have a loose clam that I just got out of the ocean. And it's in my belly. I love it. There's nothing better. Once the clam chowder's made, a perfect matching would be a very fine Puligny Montrachet, which is a very, very fine white wine from the French region, near the Bordeaux region, but actually, isn't Mother Nature wonderful? It's Scott, I'm back at the house. We're inside now. We've dug the clams. We dug up the Puligny Montrachet, which is now being chilled. We're here for classic clam chowder, and you have to start out very beginning with salt pork. You have to have a piece of salt pork, and you have to have it slightly frozen because it cuts easier. I'm gonna do a magic trick and appear with the salt pork. See nothing in my hands? Boom, magic. All right, this is salt pork. This is about 10 ounces of salt pork, and it's sliced. It's pre-sliced, which helps you cut it down into little, tiny little chunks. but it's frozen. It's partially frozen. It makes it a lot easier. So if you see how it's cut? It's already sliced that way. So I'm going to take it and cut it this way. Nice big cast iron Le Creuset pot. This goes here, and this all goes in at the same time, all this salt pork. I've got the smallest amount of heat on there, and there's the pork. I'm going to put the cover on this cast iron Dutch oven, and it will render down. Now, potato time. So these potatoes are organic Yukon Gold potatoes. Because of the flavor, the Yukon Gold is excellent. I won't peel these. We'll wash them and use the skin because all the nutrients are in the skin. And I stress organic in every ingredient in this because, let's put it this way, it takes 5 cucumbers from the regular store to give you the same amount of nutrition as 1 organic cucumber. That's why people may sometimes be a little bit larger, because we have that caveman need for nutrition like the cavemen had. Same thing, we're just humans with basic DNA, the same thing. We require that nutrition, but because of hybridization and GMO and all the kind of stuff that they do to vegetables now, you need 5 vegetables of regular quality to be equal to an organic vegetable. So you eat more to try to get more nutrition. Anyway, here's the organic Yukon Gold. I'm gonna rinse them off, and then I'm gonna come back and show you how I like them cut. So here's what I'm gonna do. When we cut the veggies, when we cut the celery, when we cut the potatoes, I want big chunks. Because what happens is if it's left there to cook for a long time, be it a soup, be it a chowder, be it anything like that, if it's left in the wet and cooking for a long time, it will disappear. It'll just cook away. So big chunks potatoes, big chunks celery, ends up having a nice, hearty chowder at the end. So when I was in the water earlier digging the quahogs, this is what we came up with. These babies right here, all right? Beautiful. Different sizes, lots of meat. And when I want a clam chowder, if I go in a restaurant, I want to taste the clams. I want the clams to be there. So I want to save the clam meat, which will be saved in a colander. But the colander will be in this pot so that I can save the clam juice, because that's a big, big part of the chowder. To do this correctly, I have my clamming knife, my shucking knife here, very special, my favorite one. And then this glove, it just looks like a white mesh glove. It's a metal mesh, which if anybody's gonna be shucking clams, I would highly recommend finding yourself one of these, because you can just hit it by accident, but you're not gonna puncture, you're not gonna cut your hand because of the metal mesh. And I've had this from a dear friend, Tom Casella gave me this 6 years ago. It's the greatest thing. So now, here's the quahog. And of course, as you know, the 2 shells come together at this seam. They're holding it together with a muscle. So I hold this in my palm, put my knife there. And I get in. I actually cracked that shell, but see the juice coming out? That is gold, folks, right there. Liquid gold. So it gave me a little bit of problem by cracking the shell, but I go around the sides. There's a muscle on each side that I want to sever. Now she opens up. Cut this little ribbon, which is their seal. I think it's their seal. And cut the seal around the top, cut the seal around the bottom, like that. The whole clam meat is in there, and the shell is right here. And we will just continue on with all of these clams. By the way, Do you see the purple on the outer edge of the inner shell? The purple, the Wampanoag Indians would call wampum. They would break this purple off like this. This shell has lots of wampum. This one has a bit on the ends. So they would break it up, and it was their form of currency. They would use wampum to buy things, to exchange animals and this, that, and the other into. It was an amazing thing. So this is one incredible shell with wampum. It's like 2.5 pounds, as I said, of clams. It's nice to put them in a long cutting pattern, because then I really only have to go through it once. But there's some gigantic pieces in here, and then they'll just be good-sized chunks. And so it's salt pork, so it's salty. I don't put any salt in it. I use unsalted butter. I'm going to put the clams in with the clam juice, and then put the potatoes in. And everybody will start getting real friendly. It'll be like a nice community meeting. So here we are. What we have in here now, we started with the salt pork and cut it up into little bits and rendered it for an awful long time, so there was quite a bit of fat. And I don't use any salt while cooking because that salt pork is salty. Then we cut the vegetables. We cut the onions, the celery, in big chunks. Cook them in the rendered salt fat. Then I've taken the clams. The clams are chopped, and they're in there, 2.5 pounds of clams. The clam juice is in there, and now that we're boiling a little bit, I'm going to take those beautiful Yukon Gold potatoes, and in they go. I don't want to splatter. Like that. Just let them go a little bit. I want to see pepper. I want ground pepper. So look at this. Look at this. Look at what happens here. Look at, can you see that? Isn't this wonderful? So now we're back here with the thickener, and the product is now just about finished. We're boiling, which is great. The potatoes are soft. The clams are in there. Everything's in there you've seen from start to finish. And now, put a little bit flour and water mixture. Because it's boiling, we will get thickness. I don't like very, 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 very thick. And then we will finish it off with some cream. I don't know who this guy is over here next to me. Actually, a boat washed up on shore with Italian written on the side of it. Italian words. And this guy comes up here and he's hungry. So we're going to give him some chowder. I'm Pietro.
I'm Pietro.
I am Pietro. From Italy, a boat washed up on shore. I mean, I've had San Salvador people wash up on shore, but this is a first. So, tell me what you think.
It looks delicious. Big chunks of potato.
Yeah.
You know,
Plenty of clams.
It's funny how you said that you didn't put any salt, because
Right.
everything would have natural salt, and that's what you taste.
I hope the finish is worth it.
Oh, it's delicious. Thank you so much for having us today.
We're going to do it again.
Yeah.
We're going to cook something else for you soon, so stay tuned. I'm eating. No more talk.
You know what, Doc? This is good.
Mm.
welcome back. We're broadcasting live from our WCTV studio at 505 Main Street. This is the coffee segment. With me is Marilyn and Earl Russell, the king and queen of recycling in the town of Wareham. Merlin is the director, right? The director of the coordinator for recycling here in the town. Our discussion this morning is everything to do with recycling in the town of Wareham, the process, how we can be efficient, what to recycle, what not to recycle, and how you can play a part in all of this. Welcome. Good morning.
Thank you.
Good morning.
So we were having a very interesting conversation before the cameras turned on. But let's redo that conversation again. So tell us a little bit about you, Merlin and Earl. How did you guys become the queen and king of recycling?
Well, I married her. That's
You got pulled in.
yeah.
I started volunteering at the recycling center, let's see,
Over 20 years.
20 years ago.
maybe 18, 20 years
Yeah.
ago
In Wareham.
in Wareham.
Okay.
And then I was conned into joining the recycling committee.
As it normally goes.
And at that time, we had a coordinator, a woman who was in charge of the volunteers, paying the bills, getting grants, et cetera, and she passed away. And the man who was running the center at that time, the yard man, asked me if I would like to become the coordinator, and I said, okay.
Absolutely. You had the knowledge, the background, and of course you have help that you can count on.
Well, I hadn't met him at the time.
Oh, okay.
I
So-
came in after.
Yeah.
Oh, very interesting. Very nice. All right.
And,
So did you?
he just sort of jumped in and helped out, and he does quite a bit of
No,
work
I'm the
there.
king.
No,
No,
you're the
he's-
king.
He calls it the grunt.
So, okay, we are recycling. So tell us, how are Wareham residents doing when it comes to recycling? Be honest. Honesty helps. When you sugarcoat it, you're not helping anybody.
We have some people in town who are very, very sincere about recycling and very, very good at it and very
Conscientious.
conscientious. Then there are other people in Wareham that just don't want any part of it. As a matter of fact, they even litter their recyclables, throw them out the car window and litter. And I know that the town has a campaign.
Do not trash Wareham.
Right,
Yeah.
do not trash Wareham, but it happens.
So those who are conscientious about recycling, what does it mean? Tell us what they do, the proper way of going about it.
Okay, they maybe have at their home separate containers or a container, and as they use items every day, they just put the things that can be recycled into the container, and then they bring it to us. And then we have to have it picked up and brought to a recycling facility where it's hopefully utilized and made into new plastic, tin, paper.
So when you are separating recyclable materials versus non-recyclable materials, even in the recyclable materials category, there is paper, you mentioned, there is plastic. They don't commingle, right? They have to be separated.
That's correct. Eventually they do.
Eventually, or should people at home do
Well,
that?
they should do that.
Okay.
It makes it easier when they come to the site because we separate it at the site. We keep it in separate bins. Tin and aluminum in one, paper in another, glass, all colors in another one, and plastic, mixed plastic in another one, and then cloudy plastic in another bit. Cardboard in a separate bin.
And also you take technologies, right? Like computers and all, laptops.
Yeah, those go in a separate place too. But those we charge for. Those aren't free.
Those are not free.
No. Everything else, it requires no sticker or center.
And is technology chargeable? Why do you?
Because it costs us to get rid of it.
Oh,
a lot.
a
We have
lot.
to pay it.
Okay.
In fact, we're paying now to get rid of everything. There's nothing they pay us for. We pay to get rid of it.
Right.
$117 a ton today for paper, tin, glass. I'm not sure. Cardboard is a wash because the bins that the cardboard go in are donated to us. In return, they take our cardboard.
Right.
And they don't pay anything for it. ABC does that.
ABC does that. So you just mentioned, you said currently you have to pay for everything. How did things used to run before?
The town used to pay for our pickups and dumping, but the town always paid for it. So it's kind of like out of one pocket or the other pocket. But we have no budget. That's the problem. We have no budget for it. We have gotten money through special, what are they called, warrants at town meetings. That's how we've been operating for years. And we got enough money a few years ago to last us for 3 or 4 years. And then they started charging us to pay. Municipal maintenance used to pay to dump it. That's another department of the town. But we ended up having to do it. We didn't have a budget for it. So we're using that money that was allocated to us to do that too. So again, we're going to be faced with a financial crisis in a couple of years. Pretty good for a couple of years.
Pretty good for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So tell me, I mean, this financial crisis, we're trying to inspire people to recycle. How are things functioning on your end? How frustrating is this, not having a concrete budget?
Well, I've never, ever since I've been coordinator, we've never had a budget. It was stopped back before the previous coordinator passed. The town, whoever was town administrator at the time, just said, we don't need any money for recycling. So then the committee stepped up, and we do take in some money, and they use that money to pay like a small amount of money, a stipend, to keep the coordinator going. It is frustrating, but that's the way it is. And
We've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
We submit a warrant to the town meeting, and it comes up in the town meeting, and the town people either deny it or okay it. And normally they okay it.
right.
So at least you're getting the support of the town, but to be told that we do not need recycling or that it's not in a list of our priorities,
Right.
departments to fund for, apart from hurting, tell us the repercussions of that to this town, to not really invest monetary time into recycling. What are we losing?
Well, if people just stopped recycling right now, all the recyclables that we take in will be burned. And that, when you burn, the more you burn, it's going up into our atmosphere.
Some of it
And-
can't be burned either.
But then, to that point, to those who are still questioning, because then we're going to be talking about climate change or global warming, you name it. So those who are sitting saying, how is that impacting me? I may be gone, or I don't care, or I do not believe. Once again, draw it back to the point at home. Why should people care?
Well, my feelings have changed a little on why people should care, but people still should care. One of the problems we have now is that we have an overabundance of plastic and paper that China, for one, will not take.
They used to take it.
They used to take our plastic recyclables over there, and I really don't know what they did with them, but now they're refusing to take them. And the same with newspaper. What we're doing, and by we, the United States, is trying to find other countries who will take our recycling. So it's almost like sometimes I feel we don't know what the future is going to bring. What's going to happen? We keep stockpiling recyclable items, but what are our choices? Burn it or put it in a landfill?
The landfills are full
The landfills
everywhere.
Okay.
Bourne has
So-
a big landfill, which I guess has plenty of room still. We don't, in this town, we have none, zero. There's one in Rochester, I believe. I'm not sure about Marion.
I don't know. One of them was recently capped. I know that.
I think the one in Rochester is now capped too.
So,
So-
we have an abundance of, you mentioned plastic, you mentioned newspapers, and one of the places, China, that we used to depend on to take our things, no longer, putting a cap, not taking everything. And also, right here in our town of Wareham, we do not have a budget, we don't have reinforcement, it's not mandatory to recycle.
Right.
All right, so you guys are stuck right in the middle.
Yeah, yeah, we're kind of used to it. We do have the support of the current town administrator, Derek Sanderson. He's been very supportive.
What is, tell us about, if any, concrete plans that he has to help further the department? Are we looking to have it mandatory? Everybody should recycle? I think they should. I truly, because if we're going to, if anything that needs to be, in order for this to be successful, we need to make it mandatory. There needs to be a law, a bylaw written with precautions, right? If you break it, like anything else, and that's how we can reinforce something. But if we go by the goodwill of people, as we know, not everybody considers this important. And you're telling me that this is important.
Yeah, we believe it's important. Everybody that has a trash hauler, to get the what am I trying to say? The permission to operate in the town, they have to offer recycling at no extra cost to their customers. So if you sign up to have your trash picked up, they should take your recycling for nothing. And I think on a one-on-one basis, you're dealing with a company who works okay. But there's a million trailer parks and apartment complexes where that's not the case.
Right.
They're just throwing it all in the dumpster. Everything.
Everything.
Some people aren't. The people who are conscientious bring it in to us.
To us, right.
Now, you guys are only open twice a week, right?
Right.
And the hours are very specific, very few amount of
exactly.
hours a week.
Right.
So those, once again, people can say, yes, I would love to, but I cannot make it there, those demanded hours.
Yeah, there are people that say that. But the ones that are really conscientious, they work around it. And
They make an
schedule.
effort to
Do you think
get
it's
there.
because we have not grasped the importance? Reading about why we should recycle, they mention such as saving money, the environment, all that. It sounds great, but I feel like we have missed the nail.
Yeah,
People have not connected with the cause yet.
No, that's probably true. You have to understand that when they use recycling, they don't have to make new things. Notice when they take plastic and they reuse it, they don't have to create new plastic. Plastic is the biggest problem, really.
Well, some town, Boston, has banned plastic bags.
Yeah,
Are we looking? Are you advocating for
No.
the same thing in Wareham?
I don't think that's the answer,
Okay.
personally.
Personally.
Yeah, I don't think banning anything's the answer. People are going to find a way to do whatever they're going to do. And to me, to ban plastic bags is, it's a small, it doesn't mean anything to us. We still burn plastic bags, by the way. Even though we take them, they're burned.
You burn them.
We don't. CMAS does.
Okay.
Right. They go to CMAS
So
They
they
burn
don't
'em up.
recycle
and they're
them.
burned.
I don't know of anybody that takes a bag and makes something else out of it. Plastic bottles, they do, bottle caps. There are places in this country that take bottle caps and make prosthetic limbs out of them. But You know, the way we
That's
do it.
a very small
Oh
percentage.
yeah, yeah, and you know, every bottle that we throw away, the cap's usually on the bottle, and I don't know how they take them off. They have to be separate.
I
yeah.
don't know. One of the things they are using glass for is they mix it in with asphalt for the roads and pavement. So I don't know how much of that they're doing.
What is the solution in Wareham?
Well, in Wareham, we just need to have it mandatory to recycle, and the trash, not throw anything recyclable in the trash. I don't know how you police that though.
Right.
You know, who looks in the bags and says there's stuff in there that shouldn't be. A lot of trash haulers in certain towns are very picky about what they take in the trash. The town I came from, Dighton, is very picky about it. You have a recycle box, you have a trash box, and a bag. The bags are clear. You can't have black bags. And they look in, if they see recycle, they don't take it. They just leave it sitting on the sidewalk.
We should do the same thing.
Yeah.
I
And
know a
it
lot of
work, I'm
people-
not saying it's perfect, but it works.
It's something, and you, both of you, being in the midst of all this, I'm sure what you're telling us comes from knowledgeable perspective rather than just outing your feelings. You know, you know what works and what doesn't work. Yeah. Well, I'm with you. I am with you, and I would love to continue helping you to further this campaign to why you should recycle. Hopefully, everybody is going to connect with it, one way or another.
Yeah, we've been fighting for years just to keep the recycling center open.
Yeah.
Like I said, we don't have a budget. We have to go for warrants, get the town people to vote for it, which they've done. That's part of what we do, is get the funds. We take all the returnable nickel bottles and cans we get every week. We take it in. It averages probably $50, $60 a week that we take in from just cans and bottles. We charge for tires, but they charge us to take them. We make any money on anything else? Not really.
No, it's a work of heart. It's really, you have to love it, because rather than that, it's just frustrating. You're not getting anything in return.
No.
Yeah. Well, thank you to both of you for being here. I would like to further this conversation. So whenever both of you can make it to the studio, I
Okay.
would love to have you.
Okay.
To our viewers, thank you for joining us in another episode of Good Morning Wareham. My guests were Marilyn and Earl Russell, the king and queen of recycling in Wareham. You heard them. If you missed us this morning, this episode will be rebroadcasted this evening at 6 p.m. And also will go on our YouTube channel, Wareham Community Television YouTube. With that, we'll be back on Friday with more. So thank you and have a pleasant day, Wareham. Bye.